Hello, my name is Gloria Roberts. Today we are looking at another topic, plant nutrition. Objectives of lesson. By the end of the lesson, students should be able to 1. List the two types of nutrition. 2. Define the term photosynthesis. 3. Mention the two stages of photosynthesis. 4. Enumerate at least 4 of the conditions necessary for photosynthesis. 5. Define chemosynthesis. Nutrition is one of the life processes, that is, one of the characteristics of living things that occurs in both plants and animals. It involves the process by which organisms feed. There are two types of nutrition, and they are 1. Autotrophic nutrition. This kind is common to plants. Plants carry out autotrophic nutrition because they can manufacture or produce their own food by themselves. Plants are therefore called autotrophs or producers. The second type of nutrition is called heterotrophic nutrition. This kind is common to animals. Animals carry out heterotrophic nutrition because they cannot manufacture or produce their own food by themselves. They therefore depend directly or indirectly on plants for their food. Animals are therefore called heterotrophs or consumers. Animals eat plants such as beans, rice, and so on. And sometimes indirectly they also eat this plant by eating the animals that feed on the plants. Now, plant nutrition. Our major focus is going to be on autotrophic nutrition in this class. There are two types of autotrophic nutrition, and they are A. Photosynthesis, B. Chemosynthesis. Now let's define photosynthesis. This is the type of nutrition that takes place in green plants, in which they make use of carbon dioxide and water to manufacture their food, using energy from sunlight trapped by chlorophyll. Now, the end result of the process is food and water. The meaning is that at the end of photosynthesis, food and oxygen. The meaning is that at the end of this process, food and oxygen will be produced. The food, which is glucose, also can call it starch, can call it carbohydrate, is used by the plant, while oxygen is released as their waste into the atmosphere. Now this is the image of plants exposed to sunlight, and as this is done, photosynthesis will be taking place. Now, stages of photosynthesis. There are two stages or reaction phases in the process of photosynthesis. These stages are 1. Light reaction stage, 2. Dark reaction or stage. Now let's look at the light reaction stage. This stage takes place during the day or when there is sunlight. The green chlorophyll inside the leaves or stem of a plant first trap the sunlight. So it is the chlorophyll that absorbs the sunlight. The sun energy then helps to split the water molecule in the plant. Don't forget, plants use carbon dioxide and water. So the water will be split by the sun energy into hydrogen ion and hydroxyl ion. Now, the splitting of water into hydrogen ion and hydroxyl ion by sunlight is what we call photolysis of water. So that is an equation showing the photolysis of water. Water is broken down or split into hydroxyl ion and hydrogen ion. Now the hydroxyl ion will further undergo a reduction reaction to form water and oxygen. So we can say that oxygen is formed during the light reaction stage. Now, oxygen is formed and released during the light stage. The coenzyme NADP is reduced to NADPH and ATP, where the ATP stands for adenosine triphosphate. That is the energy we are talking about that is formed. And NADP is nicotinamide adenosine dinucleotide phosphate. Now, the dark reaction stage. This stage takes place at night or in the absence of light or in a dark place such as a cupboard. Here, the hydrogen ion combines with the carbon dioxide. Don't forget, photosynthesis involves using carbon dioxide and water. The water has to split in the light stage, so the carbon dioxide remain in the dark stage, is reduced in a reaction combined. That is, here the hydrogen ion combines with the carbon dioxide in a reduction reaction to form sugar, or the carbohydrate, or the food we are talking about that plants can manufacture. The food is later stored as starch. So here is hydrogen ion combined with carbon dioxide, forming the carbohydrate and water. So note that the energy used for this stage is the ATP, the energy produced during the light stage. Equation representing photosynthesis. Photo means sunlight or light. Synthesis means manufacture. So what do we manufacture, or what is manufactured in the presence of sunlight? It is food. So how is this food manufactured? Uses inorganic material such as carbon dioxide and water to make organic material, that is the glucose, and at the end oxygen is given up. So this is an equation showing the process of photosynthesis. Now this is an image. You can see water that is in the soil. The water is in the soil. The water goes into the plant through the roots, and then the carbon dioxide enters the leaves through a tiny hole known as stomata, and at the end of photosynthesis, oxygen is taken out of the leaves also through this hole called stomata. Conditions needed for photosynthesis. The materials needed for photosynthesis are grouped into two, namely the external condition. These external conditions are found outside the body of the plant. They are conditions or factors that are necessary for photosynthesis to take place. The first one is mineral salts must be available, water must be available, sunlight must be there, carbon dioxide is needed, and optimal temperature is needed for photosynthesis to take place. But don't forget, they are the external conditions. Now we also have the internal conditions. We have the enzymes, we have the chlorophyll. Enzymes and chlorophyll are found within the plant. They are found within the plant. The chlorophyll is a pigment that is responsible for the green coloration in plant, and it is the one that also traps the energy from the sun. Now note that oxygen is not needed for photosynthesis, rather it is what released into the atmosphere. It is evolved into the atmosphere. Rather, it is given off into the atmosphere as a waste. See? Alright, importance of photosynthesis. Number one, photosynthesis is a process that makes use of carbon dioxide, which is a waste product of man or animals, thereby purifying the atmosphere. Yes, animals breathe in oxygen, we breathe out carbon dioxide as our waste product. Now, this carbon dioxide is what plants make use of. So in another way, or let's say, they're actually helping us. They're actually helping the environment by actually purifying the atmosphere. Number two, it helps in production of food for both plants and animals that feed on the plants. This animal cannot produce their own food. Well, we eat food, we eat plants, and we eat animals that feed on this plant as well. So they are producing food for us as well as producing food for themselves. Now, photosynthesis is also important because it also helps to release oxygen, which is used by animals for respiration. We breathe in oxygen, we breathe out carbon dioxide. So oxygen is very vital for cells to function. So this oxygen is what is released at the end of photosynthesis. So photosynthesis is very, very important. Okay, it also serves as a building component for other nutrients or substances, that is protein, fat and oil, are built from the component of carbohydrates, that is the food manufactured in the presence of photosynthesis. The components include carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and so on. Those are the three major components. Okay, chemosynthesis. This is the process by which non-green plants, please, manufacture their own food. Now, using inorganic compounds or components like carbon dioxide, water, or ammonia. Now, oxygen is released as waste product as well. However, the process do not make use of energy from the sun. So how do they get their energy? They use the energy derived from the oxidation. Oxidation is a kind of reaction, chemical reaction of the inorganic compounds. What are the inorganic compounds? If you move up, you can see carbon dioxide, water, or ammonia. So the oxidation of those inorganic compounds will bring about an energy that will be used for the process of chemosynthesis. So chemo, you can just say literally, it means chemicals. Synthesis means manufacture. So they use oxidation reaction of chemicals or inorganic materials to manufacture organic material, which is their food. Alright, so let's talk about mineral requirements of plants. Apart from the carbohydrate manufactured by plants during photosynthesis, they also require mineral salts for making protein and for healthy growth. Now, plants do not produce these mineral salts, so they derive them from the soil. So we have two types of mineral salts. We have the one we call essential, the micronutrient, or the major elements. So you see that you say it is essential nutrient, macronutrient, or major element. These are nutrient or elements needed in large quantity in plants. Examples include phosphorus, potassium, sulfur, hydrogen, carbon, oxygen, magnesium, calcium, iron, and nitrogen. I have an acronym for it. P-Square sold 100 copies of musical cassettes in Nigeria. That will help us to quickly remember these elements: phosphorus, potassium, sulfur, hydrogen, carbon, oxygen, magnesium, calcium, iron, and nitrogen. So the second type of mineral salt is called non-essential or micronutrient or trace elements. These are nutrients or elements needed in small quantity in plants. They include molybdenum, zinc, cobalt, copper, boron, and chlorine. Molybdenum can cook boron chloride. Molybdenum can cook boron chloride. So it depends on how you want to put it. I think that should help us to remember them fast. Okay, these are our student activities. All you need to do is click on the link in order to attempt the questions or some questions on this topic. It will actually help you to assess your level of understanding of the lesson. Okay, I would want to say we are through now for today. So thanks for joining me in this class. Thanks for learning. Have a wonderful time.